Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's DLloyd. So the NFL has updated its gambling policy. And with that, we have new suspension outlaw or outlines. And it's going to be interesting. I will say that gambling in the NFL really over the last few years since they allowed it mainly with Vegas, and you've seen the NFL partner up with gambling companies, your DraftKings, your MGM, your Bet MGMs, all of that fun stuff. Um, Gambling over recent years has taken off. Sports gambling, that is, has taken off and is pretty much mainstream in a weird way, right? We had like daily fantasy for a second, but now straight up sports gambling is pretty much mainstream, and you see it everywhere. You see a lot of content creators talking about it. You see it plugged in just about every sporting event. You see gambling lines everywhere. But with that, you have the unfortunate circumstance that a lot of the players have gotten involved with it, and we've seen some suspensions take place from players gambling on games. So that is interesting. Calvin really probably the first mainstream player in the last couple of years that was suspended for an entire year. This last season, Jameson Williams was involved in it, probably the biggest name there. He had Isaiah Rodgers, who was found gambling on his team. He has an indefinite suspension as of now. Isaiah Rodgers, I believe, or Isaiah Rodgers indefinite. I believe Jameson Williams was 6 games, the original suspension, but that has been reduced down to 4 games. So that is something that came out of it. But the new policy is interesting. I'll put it up on the screen, read it, and then kind of discuss my opinions on it. So this is the memo that was sent out by Commissioner Roger Goodell today. It goes, quote, "We periodically review the NFL gambling policy to ensure that it is responsive to changing circumstances and fully addresses our commitment to protect the integrity of our game. In recent weeks, we have consulted with many of you and with the NFL Players Association to ensure that our policies are clear, properly communicated, and focused on protecting the integrity of the game and the reputation of everyone connected with the NFL. The revised gambling policy for NFL players that we are issuing today provides the clarity and focus and gives clear guidance to players about the consequences of violating the policy. Specifically, it increases the minimum penalties for gambling and related activities in connection with NFL games. Lawful gambling, other than on NFL football, remains permissible outside of the workplace, and the penalties for gambling in the workplace have been revised. This policy applies to NFL players only. Non-player personnel remain subject to the 2023 gambling policy for NFL personnel. We are working with the NFL Player Association to develop a program to educate players regarding the changes to the policy, and that program will roll out shortly." So, wow, there we go. So they are making pretty much a emergency update to it, but the big news is the new minimum guidelines, right? If you are caught gambling as an NFL player, of course, that is an automatic 1-year suspension. So no more 6 games, no more a few games, 4 games, which end up coming down to a full year suspension automatically. You're an NFL player and you're caught gambling on football. Now, if you gamble on your own team, that is a 2-year suspension from what I'm saying. And if you do any type of game fixing, that is basically a ban from the NFL. You're done if you get caught fixing any types of games. So this is going to be big, and I'm sure, even though this is big news, even though they're going to put together a program to inform players of this, because gambling is so prevalent and there's so many players in the NFL, I'm pretty sure it's just a moment of time before somebody stupidly gambles and gets caught. And now we get to see them uphold this new policy. But the NFL is definitely putting their foot down. They said we can't have that in the game. And it's very important, right? Because they don't want to turn away any of the gambling company, because the money from sports gambling is crazy. So every company is just about, they dabble in the sports gambling world, even if they don't truly believe in it. The bag is so, lucrative that they're going to be, quote unquote, in bed with the betting company. So They want that, but they also want the purity and the integrity of the NFL to remain the same. You have to be strict on it. That's really the only answer. And there's always going to be loopholes in terms of players will always find a way around the system, I'm sure. But you need to set the example. If you're caught, it's going to be a very hefty suspension just to get your point across and show that you are serious about the matter. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But I definitely think somebody will get caught with this. But the NFL showing they mean no business being nice. Like they're not trying to be lenient. They're going to put the hammer down every time a player gets caught when it comes to gambling. And they're trying to protect their business at the end of the day and their image to the public, man. So definitely makes sense. But you guys let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Do you agree with the NFL? Should we have stricter suspensions for gambling? Are you kind of looser on it? Let me know what you guys think about it, man, in the comment section below. Like I said, I think it's just a matter of time before somebody gets caught up in this, and we might see, the first 1 or 2 or the first 2 year, suspension in the NFL. But let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. It's DLloyd. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.